Content. Content has been a big issue with me, not really staying organized, and I kind of relied on my VA to take care of all this. But now that she's no longer working with us, I've kind of taken it over, and I'm trying to make this as efficient as possible. And I'm doing this the only way I know how, using Excel, or in this case, a Google Sheet, where I'm just taking all the different clips. So this is a sheet, a sheet that has all of the podcast episodes. And basically what I do is Riverside takes uh, clips of each podcast, and then I just go through and I identify which ones make the best clips just based on the rating system, so nothing crazy. And then here I record I record the guest, when their podcast is supposed to hit, and then how many clips I've chosen from that batch to then be posted on social media. And one of the things I wanted to avoid was having all of Carrie's clips posted all at once, day by day, every single day. And then once hers are exhausted, then go over to JP's, then Mike's, and then it's just kind of like blocks of people. So whether this is the best way to do it or not, I don't know in terms of social media management. But what I want to do is I want to rotate between the different clips. So we have one from Carrie, then you have one from JP. And I figured I would record this process, just hopefully, just in case that it helps someone else with their posting or whatever it is, right? So here I have Carrie. Her podcast date was 11/25, which is when her podcast was actually posted, which was yesterday. So I'm saying that for the month leading up to the posting of the podcast episode, I'll start putting out clips of her episode and hopefully driving some kind of interest or whatever it is, to have people listen, right? So the main thing I want to do is I want to show the formulas that I'm using, because I don't think that, for me, being an accountant, pretty easy, pretty used to all of it, but I'm not sure if other people really know how to use it. And it's really not that hard if you understand how to actually use it. So here, these are just hard coded. I have the guest name, and then I have the podcast posting date. And then I want to say a month before I will start dripping those clips. So all I did was I just take the podcast date and I subtract 30 from it, and then it gives me a clip start date. And then from here, I have the number of clips. So I've selected 6 clips from her folder that I want to post. And, these are just hard coded numbers. Okay. Now on the left side, I just take the date that I started doing this, or the date at which my clips ended, which was 11/27, which is tomorrow. And I'm just adding a date each one so that I can easily just take it, drag it, and then extend the dates. So I'll go all the way up to January for now, right? And then this is the fun part. So here I just have the individual names that are hard coded, and I just want to make sure that these names match these. And reason being is because there are a couple columns that are dependent on this. So here I just have Carrie, right? And then you'll notice here I have a VLOOKUP, which looks intimidating if you've never used it, but it's very simple. And what VLOOKUP does is it just takes whatever cell I've selected, compare it to another table, and then take one of these values and drops it in here. So here we have Carrie, which is B2, from this F through H table. And then I'm taking the second column, which is just this right here. Second column. Oh, that really should be third column, because the second column would be this one. This is the third column. This is the first column. So 1, 2, 3. So the podcast drop is 11/25. So then this is incorrect. This is incorrect. So I'll just take this and I'll drop it down all the way, and it'll update based on this. So if you look at Jim McElhaney, his podcast drop date is 12/30, and you can see over here it's 12/30. And then here, I just pick one of the clip names and then I drop it in here, hard coded, but you can see. Another fun thing that I do here is I go through and I rotate them, right? So right now, these two are done. They have already been exhausted, so there are no clips left, but Carrie still has 2 left. So what I'll do here is I'll just say Joe Frederick is last. So Joe Frederick, before that was Jim. So then I have Olivia coming up next because she would have been up next. And Olivia Atkin. And then if you look here, she has 7 clips available. Once I get rid of it, it drops down to 6. And then Carrie still has 1 available or 2 available. So right now there's 2. And then when I select enter, it'll drop it down to 1. And then this is just how I keep track of how many clips are left and just the rotating, just the way it rotates. Here, I'm just going to take the column or the cells, pull it all the way down so that I don't think it really matters at this point. I don't even know why I have it, but I have it here just in case I need it for when I go through and I make a thumbnail for Canva. Now on here, these are hard coded, like I said earlier, but then the clips left is a formula, and it's basically just taking the number here. So in this case, it's I2. Down here is going to be I5. And I'm skipping over these because they're hard coded. My VA had already posted all of them, so those are exhausted. So I just want to make sure that these are good. So then I do, so I2, right? So it's I2, and then it's a count if. And could be intimidating, count if, but it's very simple. Basically saying count the number of instances of this individual's name that have been entered here, right? So then it's just simply the B2B column, right? As you can see right here is B2B, and then F2. So it is comparing everything in this column to this selected cell. And if you drop down here, it's the same thing, comparing everything in this column to this selected cell. So this way, it automatically reduces the number of clips I have available every time I schedule one. So then I know that, like Mark, he's run out of clips already. So then I can exclude him from the next one. So this is how I'm organizing it. And the goal is to post every single day, but I'm hoping that these little formulas help you with whatever it is that you're doing. But yeah, this is just some behind the scenes stuff. And if you have any questions about Excel or formulas or whatever it is, reach out to me. I'm happy to help.